Well, hello there. How you doing? Let's get straight into the meat and potatoes. We're going to be talking in a second about Katherine Ramsland. This is the professor, the teacher, the person who taught Bryan Kohberger everything he should have known. If he is indeed the person who did this crime. Again, innocent until proven guilty. And there is a reason why I can't go balls deep in Bryan Kohberger being the person who did this 100%, or there was not someone else involved. Do you know what I mean? There's just something there. And what a lot of this is to do with is the fact that not only do we have the court case sort of building up in the background, all of these pieces of information coming out and forming all the documents that we see on the Idaho courts, it's docket, if you like. They'll give you something, and they'll take it away. They'll redact something, they'll close something off, they'll hide it. You'll hear that there's meetings happening like Cloak and Dagger. And, alongside this, there is the Supreme Court case where the Associated Press are questioning why everything is being done so secretly. Why are all these meetings happening like Cloak and Dagger meetings? And when you look at that, Bryan Kohberger is heavily involved in that. And I've said this before, the more you read into not only these cases, the case information to do with the primary case, but this secondary case and his involvement in that, you find that you are dealing with someone who is highly intelligent. And I get it. People have said, book smart, street stupid, and that's how he's got himself in this position. But that brings me to this. And that is the fact that Katherine Ramsland has indeed spoken out. And what she's spoken about in particular is her teachings and her methodology. Got there in the end. Her methodology when it comes to teaching, how she teaches, the way in which she does that. And this is how she does do it. She makes up mock crime scenes. They have a mock-up crime house that enables their students to walk through scenarios, real-life scenarios. So this isn't about being book smart and street stupid and only seeing one side of things, and perhaps because you've learned everything via the book and the text, that it doesn't prepare you for what you see in the real world. They're taught the real world. Bryan Kohberger walked the real world. He looked and was able to scrutinize real cases. Well, mock-up cases, not real cases, but these mock-ups of what would be influenced by real cases. It was able them to see where they would make mistakes and how to overcome them mistakes. This confirmation bias, how that can affect people's judgment and how to get around that, how to avoid the pitfalls. So I ask you this, if someone is given such extensive training in pretty much every element, then how did this person make so many fundamental errors? Going back to the phone, things like this, Bryan Kohberger obviously knew that the phone was a way that he could be traced. His movements could be traced. So why not leave his phone back where he came from in Washington? Why didn't he leave it there? Why bring it in the first place? When you know that you're going to take it and you're going to have to turn it off anyway and hide where you're going, why take it? Unless you feel that you are going to need it, why take it? When that could ultimately be something that hangs you. Now, you tell me down below, is it just that we've become so connected to our phones that we feel naked when we lose them? You know, that feeling when you think, well, where's my phone? Where's my phone? Oh, it's in my hand. Is that how bad it's got? That this person left his home to commit a heinous crime. He knew what he was going to do, but he still had to take his phone. even though he knew that it could tell people where he was. And he knew that, and we know he knew it because if it is him and we believe the story that we're being fed, he switched it off, or turned it at least onto aeroplane mode. Answer me that. Why take it in the first place? And it's all these little things, to leave the sheath behind. Leaving that sheath behind with DNA on it. After he himself, by his neighbour's statement, had given his DNA into a platform to check out his roots. So he's given his DNA, he then leaves a piece of evidence behind with his DNA on it. He takes a phone that he knows can track him. He goes completely against every single thing. He drives his own car. He goes in, he leaves a witness. He goes back to the crime scene, apparently, the following or later on that morning. Why did this person, if he is the person who did it, with all of this teaching, all of his learnings, why did he make every single mistake? Now you can forgive one, you can forgive two, but this person apparently pretty much made every single mistake there was. Stalked his victims on social media. Again, this is what we're being led to believe. Stalked his victims. Didn't have to go through all their social media. He didn't have to do that. He visited the place 12 times. Pinged in the area. All of these things that pretty much had him banged to rights. And he would have known. He would have seen cases where these exact things hung people in the past. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Let me know down below what you think. I'll catch you all in the next one.